and the seed of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And peace and blessing upon all prophets and Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We begin now with the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and ask Imam Al-Qadri to come and recite some Quran and begin the welcome and thank you very much for coming. We are honored and for coming, and we thank you all for coming and joining us in this region. Thank you very much. Imam Al-Qadri, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا السماء وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله. Jazakallah Imam Al-Qadri, thank you very much. I will request now the translation of these verses.
In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, ever merciful, when all the heavenly spirits will be spoiled by thee, and when the planets will fall and scatter, and when oceans and rivers will flood and overflow, and when graves will be overturned, then everyone will come to know what action he sent forward and what he left behind. O man, what he deluded concerning your gracious Lord. The one who created you from a fertile ovum in your mother's womb. Then to structure your limbs at a fetal stage. He shaped you aright, then brought about alterations in your constitution. He constituted you in whatever form he willed. That is the truth, but not the contrary. You deny the day of recompense, whereas there are guardianship angels appointed over you, who are dignified to scribe, writing the records of all your deeds. They know all those actions which you do. Indeed, the truly good will be in the garden of bliss, and surely the evildoers will be in the blazing fires above. They will enter it on the day of rising, and will never be able to absent themselves from it. And what have you made out of what the day of recompense is? So what have you learned about the day of recompense is? It is a day when no soul will own anything for any other soul, and the command of that day will be entirely Allah's.
Thank you, I'll just give you the format of today's program. We have a few speakers, and we will be bringing and requesting them to come and send their greetings to us. We request that that should be 45 minutes to the questions. To come 45 minutes. Then we're going to do the I request Honorable Adam also to come and please stand. Honorable Adam also.
Well, thank you very much. I wasn't expecting to speak, but I want to say thank you very much for having us here today. I see MP Sherry Benson, I see my colleague from the legislature, Emily Forbes, as well as Steve Buckingham and Cameron Scott from the school board. And I just want to say thank you very much for allowing us to come and to and learn a little bit more about your religion and show a little bit of support for your organization and what you're doing here. It's a great pleasure to be here and support you all. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Thank you very much. I request Dr. Syed to come and share his words with us, please. Dr. Syed. Dr. Syed is probably not here. Okay. Alex. I request Inspector Patrick Morris to come and share some words with us, please. I'll request Mr. Ryan Claude, representing RCMP. I'll respect David King, representing Saskatoon Parliament. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. It's always an honor and a privilege to be invited to your mosque and to share our thoughts back and forth and build a friendship and a future. I always like being engaged with especially the immigrant community, because they see our province in a different light than those of us that grew up here. And so it's always important to keep that connection open and work to build stronger communities. Through working through stronger communities, we can build a better province. When we build a better province, we can build a better country. And I also think that we have the opportunity to be a role model for the rest of the world. So anytime I'm invited to one of these events, I try and make it, because it's really important when they reach out to us that we reach back and learn from one another and learn each other's cultures and build this beautiful country that's been built on immigration for hundreds of years. So thank you again for inviting us here.
Thank you very much.
I request our guest, Syed to come please have her stand. Worship us, please. You need.
Well, thank you for the welcome and, of course, the invitation to take part today in the multi-faith dialogue. And I acknowledge my colleagues from the Legislative Assembly, from the school board, and from City Council. It's nice to join in today. And, of course, we are gathered today here on Treaty 6 territory and the ancestral homeland of the Métis people. And of course, the great riding of Saskatoon West, of which I'm a member of Parliament. So I'm also really pleased to see the diversity, the vibrancy, the growth continuing within our city. Unfortunately, despite some of the ignorance, some of the religious intolerance, and racism both impacting both the world and sometimes, of course, our own community. It's important that we continue to host these dialogues, encourage one another to stand up to intolerance. And it is not enough to be tolerant and accepting. We must push back against intolerance, and of course, there's an added burden of responsibility for those of us who are leaders. I do believe that we have a lot to celebrate here in Saskatoon. It is very inspiring to see the strong interfaith relationships that already exist in Saskatoon. We've had a coming together of the Islamic Association of Saskatchewan and the Congregation of Badiuddin Soharwardy, sponsoring the Syrian family. And of course, a little while ago, the Cathedral Holy Family hosting a Holocaust survivor. They'll leave last week to speak to some 2,000 students about his experience. The best way to combat intolerance is through building relationships, personal relationships with one another. Unfortunately, every day we do hear stories of religious intolerance and, of course, see images of hatred and violence. But today, of course, we are focusing on how our religious and our philosophical traditions in our community can build the bridges of cooperation. Thank you again for inviting me to be a part of this dialogue. I'm proud to work with all of you as we move forward together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will now request our mentor or teacher, Professor Badiuddin Soharwardy, to come share his thoughts with us. I would really request that once he has, we will open up for the question and answer session. So we'll be open and we request that please you can just use the time and take the question and Professor Badiuddin Soharwardy will ask. Thank you very much.
Good morning. The day passes so fast. I was in the plane this morning. I was coming from Montreal, and one time during boarding came and looked at the nurse. She looked like she had a night service, and so she said, "Good afternoon." It was early morning, so I'm very happy, by the way, to have you here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and the blessings of God upon all of you. Thank you very much for coming. This is our first time in gathering of multi-faith gathering, a formal multi-faith gathering in this mosque. This is a newly built mosque, and the person who used to own this building is right here, Mr. Larry and his partners, and I'm glad that you are here, and definitely I'm very happy that your presence is blessing all of us. So thank you very much. I mean, I can talk Larry for hours the way they cooperated and helped us to build this mosque. This was his business, this was his workshop, and his partner's workshop, and amazingly the way you cooperated and your partners cooperated, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, and thank you very much. So our start was multi-faith start. We bought from Larry and Dale, by the way, his partner is a very active in his church. So the reason I am personally involved in multi-faith or interfaith dialogues, I'm not sure how many of you, my name is Syed Soharwardy. My full name is Syed Badiuddin Soharwardy, but generally in the media and in interfaith circle, I'm known as Syed Soharwardy. Before 9/11, way before 9/11, in Calgary, where I lived, I moved to Saskatoon about just 2 years ago. I established Muslims Against Terrorism. It was not a reaction to the tragedy of 9/11 2001. The reason is I saw there was an emerging trend in the Muslim community that was very un-Islamic. Because I was born and raised in a very, very religious family. By our ancestry, we are directly related to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So my father, my grandfathers, all the history that I know of my ancestors, they were all Imams and the religious scholars. So I was brought up in a very religious family, but I never saw or never heard or never taught by my parents or my teachers to hate anyone. It is not that I am in Canada now, I am becoming a very multi-faith person. No, it was in Pakistan where I was born and raised. My father was a school teacher as well as an Imam in the mosque. We used to have Pakistani Christian friends in my neighborhood. We used to have Pakistani Hindu in my neighborhood. We used to have Shia and Sunni and nothing, never ever. My father, who was very well respected across the country, a scholar of Islam, ever told me that you cannot play with Christian, or you cannot have a friendship with a Hindu, or you cannot be a Shia friend. We are Sunnis. So this was quite strange to me when I saw in 1997, early 98 in fact, that there was some Americans, they were touring Malaysia, and there was a news in the media that some Muslims have kidnapped those Americans and kidnapped them and took them to southern Philippines, and they were asking ransom for it. At that time, I established Muslims Against Terrorism because I know, and overwhelming majority of Muslims around the world know, that hijacking innocent people is a crime in Islam. Regardless what faith they belong to, or they have no faith, it doesn't matter. They are human beings. So when I saw this is a trend that Muslims are doing this kind of thing in the name of Islam, it bothered me, and I said this Muslims Against Terrorism. And after the tragedy of 9/11, it became a world phenomenon. Now Muslims Against Terrorism in most of the Muslim countries, in 23 Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries, it exists now. It's a global organization. In 2000, I established the Islamic Supreme Council of Canada because I saw there was, after 2001, that there was some sort of a development of radicalization of Muslim youth. And Islamic Supreme Council was established to reach out to Muslim youth and educate them. Yes, we disagree with American policies. I don't hide that. and this is absolutely a true fact. But this agreement with American policies or Canadian policies or Western policies does not, should not, must not force us to take the path of violence. We must not resolve our issues and disagreement through violence. That is against Islam. And that is why I got involved in multi-faith, interfaith dialogue, and that's why you are here today. And I'm just going to explain to you in a few minutes what we believe and what we do not believe. And people are making up that this is what Muslims believe. I have written a book, and when you go, please take this book, it's free. Defeating Hate. And it's a rebuttal to Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIL, Daesh, and Islamophobes. Because what these fanatics and terrorist groups are doing, they are taking the verses from the Holy Quran and saying, this is Quran says, go and kill all the Jews and Christians. Kill all the infidels. You should not be making friends with Jews and Christians. Those kind of misinterpretation of the Holy Quran is in my opinion, is absolutely not only misrepresentation of Islam, but in fact, in my opinion, personal opinion, it's a criminal activity because you are saying something which does not exist at all. My brothers and sisters, Islam, if somebody asks me what Islam is all about, Islam is all about sanctity of life. The foundation of Islam is only on one thing: sanctity of life. Salvation of Muslims or human beings, if I say, depends on the grace of God. That's the foundation of Islam that I have learned and I have studied. Yes, we do have, just like other faith, we have rituals, we have traditions, all those things. But none of those traditions and none of those rituals inspire or should inspire any person to hate anyone who does not follow Islam or disagree with Islam. In Islam, let me just quickly start because I can talk hours, but I don't want to go there. I want you to ask me a question. And please, this is my promise to you. You will not be able to offend me. You will not. So ask any question that you have. Even you think it is a very poking question or offensive question, there is no offensive question for you. I am very passionate about my faith because my faith makes me a good human being. My faith does not make me a bad human being. My faith does not make me a terrorist. My faith makes me a good human being who is responsible to take care of people in need, poor, oppressed. That's my faith. That's why I'm asking you, please. Ask any question, and I'm just going to speak a few minutes on the hot topics. I think by now everybody knows what Islam is all about, what Muslims do, what Muslims pray, what Muslims. So I'm not going to go into those things. If you have a question, I will be more than happy to answer. Let me start from jihad. What is jihad, by the way? In the Holy Quran, this word is mentioned almost every chapter of the Holy Quran. But jihad, word jihad does not mean, always does not mean a war. The word jihad is an Arabic word, and its root is jahad. Jahad. And jihad means a struggle. A struggle against, the first step of a struggle is a struggle against my own self. Every human being has a tendency to commit sin. Every human being can make mistake or should make, do make mistake, not should make mistake. Can make mistake. And we have the tendency to commit sin. And we all commit sin. So Islam says, struggle against your own self, to control yourself, not to disobey God, not to commit sin, not to do wrong things, not to make mistakes. Struggle against your own self, control yourself. That's why we have fasting every year, and this fasting is all about self-control. that you are hungry and thirsty and you can eat. Nobody's watching you. Your mama, papa is not watching you, so you can just sneak in and eat. You don't eat because you know God is watching you. I'm fasting for God. That consciousness of God is very important. And that's the struggle. So jihad, the first step of jihad is against my own self, against my own nafs, self. And once I have that good command, that I can be a good human being, then Islam says, if you see something wrong in the community, then speak against it, write against it. If something evil is going on in the community, something wrong is in the community, speak against it. Don't we all get in and do this thing? We don't write in the newspapers. Don't we speak to our members in parliaments? That's what we do. That anything we see wrong, we stand up and we express our opinion or we write. That is also jihad. Now, third aspect of jihad is, of course, war, which is called, by the way, no people get holy war. War cannot be holy. Absolutely. I don't believe in any war that can be holy. War is bad, war is wrong, and it should not take place. But it does take place. So what is jihad? War aspect of jihad, and I want to explain. You know, Geneva Convention was established, how many? 3-4 decades ago? And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who's our prophet. By the way, we not only believe in Prophet Muhammad, we believe in Jesus Christ too. I cannot be Muslim if I do not believe in Jesus Christ. If I do not believe in Prophet Moses. The only difference between Christians and Muslims is Christians believe him as the Son of God, we believe him as the Prophet of God. But we both love him. We both love him. We both respect him. And we both want to imitate him. That's exactly the Muslim belief. In the Holy Quran, 2 prophets are mentioned, the prophet of Jude or Jesus Christ, the Moses and the Jesus, peace be upon them. So Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is our prophet, but we believe in all the prophets of God. We believe in Gospel and Torah, Bible. We believe that word of God. But we believe that Quran is the word of God too. And God has completed his guidance on Prophet Muhammad in the form of Quran. Quran never claims that I am giving you something new. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never ever said that I am giving you something new. He says that I am saying the same thing what Jesus Christ said, what Moses said, what David said, what Solomon said, what Adam said. That there is only one God, and that God should be worshipped alone. That's it. So Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 14 centuries ago, when there was no civilization, he gave Muslims the guidance of how to fight a war, although it is bad. And by the way, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also fought war, but all of those wars were imposed upon him. You're all learning people here. With all your responsibility, I can say this thing, Prophet Muhammad never ever went for war because he wanted to grab a piece of land, or he wanted to get the control of people, or he wanted to convert people to Islam. Never. The wars that he fought were imposed. When he migrated from the city of Mecca to Medina, Mecca was a pagan city, and he was persecuted in Mecca. So he had to leave the city of Mecca, which was the birthplace of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And he went to a city called Medina, which is almost 450 kilometers from the city of Mecca. They are part of Saudi Arabia today. So when he was living there, the pagans came and attacked him. They attacked second year, they attacked every year. He fought back and he said, we will defend our lives and our properties. Don't we Canadians do the same thing? If God forbid somebody attacks Canada, we will not fight back. We will fight back. I will fight back. We will protect Canada. We will defend Canada. This is our obligation. And by the way, it is not just a Canadian obligation. obligation. It's my faith, all those things, that where I'm living, that country is my country, and I follow the laws of that country, and I should defend it. That's my faith belief too. So Prophet Muhammad said, when you are at war, do not kill children, period. Do not kill women. Do not kill elderly. Do not destroy the hospitals where the sick people are. Do not destroy the places of worship of any religion, not just the mosques, churches, synagogues, temples. He said, do not contaminate water. If water is freely flowing towards the enemy territory, you can put contaminate water. He said, no, don't do it. Do not cut green trees, even at war. Now these ISIS, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, all these terrorists, they are becoming suicide bombers. They are killing innocent people without any discrimination. There are children and women. They are killing innocent people. It is a big crime in Islam. And it is wrong, it is un-Islamic. We call it haram. Haram means completely forbidden. It's a major sin. So this suicide bombing is not Islamic. Now these people pray like us. ISIL guys and Taliban and Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram and all these terrorist organizations. They play like us. They eat Quran. They dress like us. But my dear brother and sister, it is not because of Islam. They are doing everything against Islam. It is because of their political ideology. It is because of their greed. It is because of the control of the world resources and power. Or it is because of their some political animosity to the United States or anybody else. It is a conflict, political conflict, which is being fought under the umbrella of religion. It has nothing to do with our religion. It is against every verse of the Quran and against every teaching that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave. So there is no holy war. And there is no jihad as people are fighting in the name of Islam. ISIS, I'm talking. Jihad is a very holy and sacred concept and belief of Islam. Terrorism is not jihad. Absolutely. Next important topic is, I'm just quickly skipping through and then I would love to have your question. Treatment of women. There are a lot of women here. People say, you guys don't consider women as equal citizens. That's absolutely wrong to say. In the Holy Quran, and there, by the way, translation of the Holy Quran is also available. Anybody who wants it, please take it. It's free. In the Holy Quran, and before I go there, let me explain to you. From the mouth of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And every Muslim knows this, by the way. This is a very famous hadith. Hadith means the saying of the Prophet. That he said, your salvation. As a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jewish or people of faith, what is our ultimate goal? As a faith, I'm talking from faith-based perspective. Not atheist, not agnostic, because we believe there is a life after death. When I die, I don't want to go to the heaven. I want to be saved, and I want salvation. As a Muslim, as I believe, and I hope, and I'm sure, Christians also want that they should be saved. Salvation. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, salvation of the believer is under the feet of a woman. Salvation of the believer is under the feet of a woman. And that woman is your mother. So that is the honor of a woman in our faith. I can talk married life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but if you have a question, I will talk about it. But about husband and wife relationship, this is where the problem is. Honor is king. Honor is king. Is there any honor in killing? I don't believe that. People are, imposing things on Islam, which is absolutely a crime in Islam. But if a Muslim who happens to be a bad person commits a crime, why it becomes a responsibility of all Muslims to defend our religion? Why it becomes a barrier for the entire Muslim community? There are bad people in Christian faith, there are bad people in Jewish faith, there are bad people in Muslim faith. Why Islam. It's a crime. It's wrong. It's un-Islamic. The relationship between husband and wife in Quran is described so beautifully that no other book I have read that can describe in short sentence in such a comprehensive way. Quran says, "Hunna libasun lahum wa antum libasun lahum." Wife is a garment for husband and husband is garment for wife. This garment gives me comfort, hides any defects on my body, makes me presentable. So wife is a secret sharer of husband and husband is a secret sharer of wife. Wife is a comfort for husband and husband is a comfort of wife. It's a mutual love, equal mutual love and respect between husband and wife. There is no superiority in Islam based upon gender. I challenge anyone to tell me that Islam says a man is superior than a woman. No, there is none. And I tell you, people quote two verses from the Holy Quran and they say, oh, Quran says man is this is the verse in the Holy Quran. That man is qawwam over women. Qawwam means power. There is another verse in the Holy Quran, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ, that man has one step on the women. Now these two verses of the Holy Quran, what people misunderstand and the Muslim misunderstand, not the Muslim misunderstand. They say, Quran says man has one step higher than women. And Quran says you are a qawwam over women. Absolutely not, because you're gender. You are not qawwam because you are a man. You are qawwam because it's in Islam's family system the responsibility to pay mortgage, to earn bread, to bring grocery, to pay bills, to raise kids. In Islam, that financial responsibility is on men. So in the Holy Quran, these two verses is about the responsibility that in a family, man has more responsibility to take care of the family. Wife does not have to worry, oh, I have to make money to pay the bills. Islam does not forbid women to work, by the way. Islam, that's a separate discussion. If a woman wants to work, absolutely she can work. But she should not be forced to make money in order to pay the mortgage. It is her husband's responsibility to pay the mortgage. And that's what Quran is talking about. So there is no gender-basic superiority in the Holy Quran. There is a responsibility defined in the structure of the family that man has more responsibility. What is superiority in the Holy Quran? That is very clear verse in the Holy Quran. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Superior, better among you is the one who is more righteous among you. Righteousness is the criteria. Not gender is the criteria. One more, and then I will stop. Relationship between Muslims and Jews and Christians, especially from these three faiths, because we all three go back to, you know that, right? Prophet Abraham. We are Abraham here. And I do not know why we fight. We are cousins, by the way. Christian, the Jews from Isaac, and Muslims are from the Ishmael. Peace be upon them. In the Holy Quran, there are verses in the Holy Quran that describe about the relationship with Jews and Christians. And there are both kinds of verses. With some verses people say that you do not make friends, Jews and Christians, over believers. This is the verse in the Holy Quran. What does that mean? It does not mean I cannot make Jews friends or Christians friends. No. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself has friends. One of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, her name was Sophia. She was Jewish. Her background was Jewish. And Prophet Muhammad passed away before her. So she was still alive after the Prophet passed away. And when Sophia, peace be upon her, when she wrote her will, she was the wife of the Prophet. And for a Muslim, it's a huge, huge honor. And the Holy Quran says that those women are so sacred, there is no other woman compared to them. We call them the Ummahat al-Mu'mineen, the mothers of the believer. Now she's the wife of the Prophet, and Prophet had passed away. She is still alive. She writes her will. In her will, she says, such and such amount of my heritage should be given to my cousin who was still Jewish. So if he had hate for Jews, then she could not have done this. During the second caliph of Islam, Sayyidina Umar, he is the companion of Prophet Muhammad. When he was caliph, he came to Syria for a visit. And he was wandering, he was walking through a street, and he saw there was an old man in a very bad condition, knocking at people's door and begging for food or money. Hazrat Umar, the second caliph of Islam, he saw him and he said, who's this man? People told him, oh, Amir al-Mu'mineen, or either of the believers, or like president. This man is a beggar. He said, bring him. And then he asked him, who are you? He introduced himself, that I'm a Jew. I'm a Jewish person. These are his words. Hazrat Umar, he said, when you were young, you paid your taxes, just like all Canadians pay taxes. But when you Canada does not forgive. He said, you paid your taxes. By the way, Muslim pay taxes in an Islamic country called zakat, and non-Muslim pay taxes called jizya. And again, this is the people have misunderstood, oh, this is a discrimination. This is not a discrimination. People have misunderstood. And I want to short my speech because I want to give you a chance. Otherwise, if you have a question, I will be more than happy to answer. Because these are the questions people have put it on their websites, and they say, you Muslim hate Jews and Christians, they ask jizya, zimmi, and this and that. No. So he said, you pay your taxes when you were young. Now you are old and you need help, and we left you for begging. He took him all the way to the capital called Medina, and he said, this is your scholarship from the government's money, and you will get it. That's what we call ER in today's language, employment insurance. That's what he did. And I think when Jerusalem was conquered, Hazrat Umar was a caliph. You know, when he arrived in Jerusalem, Muslim conquered first time Jerusalem, he saw where the Jews prayed, it was a dull ground of city's garbage. And he said, what is it? He said, this is the Jewish place. He said, what is this garbage? He said, no, people have used this place because Jews were discriminated. He said, clean this place. He himself cleaned, participated in that cleaning, and after cleaning, he said, this is your place of worship and go away. That is Islam. That is the tolerance and acceptance of Islam of other religions and other things. Let me stop right here because I can speak for hours. And I want you to please ask a question. We have no, as a believer, no hate for creation of God. One of the famous Sufi of Islam, you know Sufis, right? We follow the Sufi tradition by the way. Sufis are a mystic part of Islam. One of the sages, or Sufi of Islam, Rumi, very famous, Jalaluddin Rumi. He says, I don't even hate Satan. I don't even hate Satan because he was not created by somebody else except God. So I don't hate God's creation. That includes Satan too. But I hate his actions, not the Satan. And that's the way we are. We don't hate anybody. We love God's creation and we want to have good relationship, cordial relationship with our neighbors. We live in this country. It is our religious requirement to protect Canada, to safeguard Canada, to be loyal to Canada, law-abiding citizens of this country. And that's the way we are. Thank you very much. start speaking of it.
I have a question, and I'm just curious. I appreciate your thoughts. So one of the challenges all religions face is relationship to science and knowledge, and how we, in this world of expanding population, how do we feed the population and all of that? And there's always, you know, there's word out about, you know, we try to go back in our way. And so what is your faith thoughts about science? And, you know, evolution is very controversial. All of that, and how do we move forward together for everyone in this world?
Oh, thank you very much. Islam has, let me tell you, no conflict with science. We call Islam is the most scientific religion, but we claim that. And the reason in the Holy Quran, there are a lot of scientific phenomena are discussed. You know, Professor Moore, I think he's a Canadian person of medicine, I do not know what is his area of expertise. He wrote a book and he said that the steps that a child takes in the womb of a mother, the steps that a child is going through from conception to all the way to a birth, it was described in the Holy Quran 14 centuries ago. At that time there was no science. Astronomy, that is also in the Holy Quran, the orbit concept of orbits and movement of sun and moon and all these day and nights and months and years, this is all in the Holy Quran. So as a Muslim, we have no conflict. By the way, we believe in creation, of course, but we also believe in evolution. And this is not today's scientific age. 14 centuries ago, this was also told that the process of creation was started right in the beginning. Adam was created. But the evolution is also there, that things do evolve into different forms and shapes and stages. So there is an evolution after creation. We believe that. Where we have some disagreement with science is that we believe that science is not final. Science changes every day because of the research and discoveries and innovations. So whatever science has discovered so far, it does not conflict with most of the concept of Islam. But there are certain things which still conflict with certain aspects of Islam. And we believe that science has come so much, one day wherever the gap is, science will revise itself and it will prove that Islam is correct. That's what we hope. But so far there has been no something described in the Holy Quran, and science says, no, that's not true. It is, in most cases, not all cases, the science has endorsed what the Quran says. In some cases, there is still difference of opinion, and because science is changing, religion is not changing. Religion is not changing. It's not changing means the concept is there, right? Quran is there. I cannot change Quran. In that sense, it's not changing. But definitely, the tradition and the lifestyle do change. Yes.
Hello. You said you can ask me direct questions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as a Christian, I've never been to the Middle East. I'm just wondering, if I were to go to maybe Gaza or Iran, can I freely confess my faith without fear for my life?
So, by the way, I never been to Gaza either, so, but I have been to the Middle East. I have worked in Saudi Arabia. I used to teach in the university because I have taught there for 7 years in Saudi Arabia. I do not know because I don't have experience, but let me explain to you. You should. I'm not sure you can because political solutions, I have no idea. But based upon the Islam teachings, a Christian should declare his Christian faith or her Christian faith. You should not be hiding your faith, regardless wherever you are. Similarly, with Muslim also. I cannot be a secret Muslim, by the way. That's why when forceful conversion comes, that a person has been forced by ISIL to convert to Islam. It not only surprises me, it shocks me. Because you cannot convert a person by force. Because Islam does not accept a person's faith if in his or her heart he is or she is believing something different than what he or says on the tongue. So nobody can be forced to convert to Islam. Islam does not accept, our God does not accept, our Holy Quran does not accept that kind of conversion where a person is not Muslim by heart through free will. So there is no forceful conversion in Islam. But as a Christian, I think you should be open to say you are a Christian and you should be proud of your faith. Anyway.
Yes. It's interesting in my view that Christianity survived wars in which Christian nations were fighting against each other, claiming that God was on their side. And somehow there's been reconciliation over the years that Christianity has survived that. I'm wondering if there's any movement among the Islamic communities to reconcile the differences within the faith.
Thank you very much. Now, because we live in today's time and we see there is a conflict going on, especially the Shia and Sunni conflict in Syria, in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and some other places. Let me ask you, if, by the way, we Muslims believe even Adam was a Muslim, and Moses was a Muslim, and Jesus was a Muslim, we believe that. Because Muslim means the one who submits to God. And these prophets of God submitted themselves to the will of God. But just for the sake of argument, if we consider that Islam was started from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 14 centuries, did anybody hear a civil war between Shias and Sunnis? Except the last 30 years, 35 years? We never had this one. Yes, there were bad rulers who killed people from Shia faith and Sunni faith. Yes, bad governments, bad rulers, kings, they have done a lot of atrocities on public. But there has been no civil war in 14 centuries of Islam between Shia and Sunni except the last 30 years, 35 years. So it's a recent phenomenon. And where it was started, when the war between Iraq and Iran took place. And we know, and I'm not trying to politicize this question, but we know that why the war between Iraq and Iran took place. It was a political war, inspired by a lot of weapons selling in the street. They wanted to sell their weapons. And then what happened in Afghanistan, when Soviet Union came, America did not want to confront Soviet Union directly. So America created a proxy war. They recruited the local people from Afghanistan, and they were already drug lords, war lords, thugs, bad people for their own community. They were recruited as Taliban. So they fought against Afghanistan. Now in that conflict, what happened? The northern part of Afghanistan was mostly Shia. The southern part of Afghanistan was mostly Sunni. It created a conflict. We never had this problem. It just started from that conflict between United States and Soviet Union in Afghanistan. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, we do have a conflict, but I'm very optimistic. Once these conflicts, the United States and Soviet Union, this Cold War, before the Cold War was direct between Soviet Union and Russia, or Soviet Union. Now the conflict is being exported to the Muslim man. So now this conflict between Soviet Union or Russia now and America is resolved in third countries. That is the reason of this Shia-Sunni problem. It's not a religious problem. It's not we are not fighting Shia-Sunni fighting with each other because we think Shias are kafir or Shias think Sunnis are kafir. No. We have lived in peace side by side for centuries. It's a recently political inspired phenomenon. weapons have been given to both sides, and thug and warlords have been, drug lords have been given weapons and training, and they are fighting, and it's not religion is being used in that fight. And it will be either side. Yes.
So that's it. That was sort of a segue to my question. So we have this fault line, which is Sunni and Shia. But the question is, what this is, because I heard you say Shia faith, Sunni faith, but we're talking about the Muslim faith. So what makes someone Shia? What makes someone Sunni? What is the basis? What is the origin of Sunnism and Shia and whatever it's called?
No, thank you very much for asking, but I did not say Shia faith, or I did not say Sunni. There is only one faith. Islam is our faith. We have denomination, a Shia denomination and a Sunni denomination. That's why there is no two faiths, there is only one faith. And by the way, within Shia and Sunni, all the basic beliefs are absolutely same. We believe in one God, without any partners and associates. We believe Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the final and the last messenger. We both believe the Quran. Quran is the final book from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We believe in all the angels. We believe life after death. We believe on the judgment day. So we believe in all basic belief, which is not a difference. The difference between Shia and Sunni was decided that who should succeed Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, after his passing away. That was the difference. Now, people have made this difference as a huge difference on so many other aspects. Otherwise, Shia Sunni, the difference was after Prophet passed away, who should succeed him? The Shia says the Prophet's cousin or son-in-law, Imam Ali, should have succeeded him. Sunni says, no, the person who was elected by the people at that time, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, he should succeed. So that is the difference. It was not a theological differences, it was not any religious differences, it was basically succession of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that was it. Now it has been, getting a little wider. But again, there is no animosity and jealousy between Shias and Sunnis, have never been existed. It is started just from the Ahmad Jihad or I call it war. It was not a jihad. I never believed that Ahmad Jihad was a jihad. It was a war that the United States fought against Soviet Union in Afghanistan.
Thanks a lot for all of this that you're offering. Earlier in your discussion, you mentioned that there was policies, American, Canadian, Western policies that you personally didn't agree with. I think we probably all have Canadian, American, Western policies that we don't agree with. But could you just sort of illustrate some of those for us? Many of us, when we were growing up and lived in Canadian, American, Western policies, were not aware necessarily of the impact that those policies have. Can you share what some of the policies are that
some of the policies that causes the sort of a anti-American, anti-Western sentiments, right? And because, by the way, I think our officers are here, a lot of people do not know that I run the largest anti-radicalization program in this country. And there are Muslim youth who are very radicalized. No doubt. I know that. Personally, I know that. Some of them are all. And I work with them. The reason these young boys and girls develop anti-American, anti-Western sentiment because of the policies, especially in the Middle East, especially the conflict between Israel and Palestine. I wish and I pray that this conflict get resolved. It will solve lots of problems. I wish when Israel was created, people should have created Palestine at the same time. I wish they would have done it. They created only Israel and the Palestine still don't exist. That is the problem, and that is the policy that Western and the American government are taking one-sided policy. It should stop. It will solve the problem. It will remove a lot of animosity and anti-American, anti-Western sentiment from some of the people who develop this kind of, because they see that the blood of Muslims or Palestinians
are shedding. Children are getting beat up, women are getting beat up. Those kind of, not social media, put the fuel on the fire. So that's one policy. Second policy that causes sort of anti-American and Western is the intrusion of Western governments, especially the United States, into the Muslim countries. I mean, why a Muslim country cannot live the way they want to live? As long as they are not threatening America, as long as they are not threatening the Western lifestyle of Western countries, then they live the way they want to. Why IMF has to go and dictate them that this should be your tariff, this should be your electric bill, this should be your gas bill, this should be this. We are not free, that's the problem. IMF goes and dictates even your electric bill in Pakistan and other Muslim countries. That has to stop. Let the people live the way they want to live. Yes, if they are threatening, absolutely, that's not acceptable. Why America goes and intrude in every change government? Yes, Gaddafi was a bad guy. We Muslims said, and I have written many articles on these dictators, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, Bashar al-Assad, and Hafiz al-Assad before his father, Hosni Mubarak, Saudi royal family. I have written many articles against these people. These were thugs, these are cruel, bad people. But no government has the right to go and remove these people and then create civil war here. Yeah, Gaddafi was a very good person, no doubt. I'm not disputing. But what right America has to go and change the government? What right America has to go in Syria and change the government? They don't change the government, they create a venue which creates civil wars. Look what happened to Syria. ISIL did not exist 5 years ago. Did it exist? No. It was created. So these are the policies that has to stop. Yes.
Thank you for holding this gathering. I have one simple question: how the common person differentiate the good Muslim and also the bad Muslim? Number one, you use this forum to clarify yourself, clarify the Muslims. So, what do you think? The churches also clarify the real face of Islam, and also synagogue also express the real face of Islam. Do you think if this thing is impact all the neighbors, do you think we have to go to the move forward for doing use the churches and also the synagogue to use that forum to clarify and see the real picture of Islam?
Thank you. No, I think as a Canadian, because we are all Canadian, it's not difficult to distinguish between a bad person and a good person, regardless of faith. There are bad Christians, there are bad Jews, there are bad Hindus, there are bad Sikhs, and there are bad Muslims. So a bad person, I don't have to define what is bad. I think it's common sense. Well, for me, right now, because of this whole political situation, the bad thing is that we impose ourselves on others is a bad thing. If I want to be a Muslim and I want to practice a Muslim and I have the freedom to practice my faith in this country, then I do not need to change anything. I do not need to change anything. If I'm going to say no change for me because I do this, then that's something bad in my opinion. You may disagree with me, but that's the way I see it. We came to this country for the freedom that the Canadian enjoy. So we should not take away that freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech is very dear to me. But Islamophobia is not freedom. I'm just going to say that. Islamophobia is not freedom. I have said it, and I'm in the media, by the way, every day I speak in the media. You can criticize Islam because you disagree with Islam. You are not a Muslim. You can criticize Quran because you are not a Muslim. You can criticize anything that you disagree with. But you have no no right, I have no right to spread it. When people come up and say this is in the Quran, and you can see I have put on my Facebook the video clip I had just about 5 days ago with a Calgary friend, he's my friend, but he was saying about, and he had a printout from a Islamophobe website, and they wrongly translated the verses of the Holy Quran and say, Quran says, go kill all the Jews and Christians. And said, show me where it is in the Quran. And he was not able to show me. They say, Quran says, do not make friends with Jews and Christians. I said, show me where it is. And he showed me that verse, and I said, this is not what it means. And the Quran says, go and kill all the adulterers. I said, where it is in the Quran? Show me. So when this is not in the Quran, and you are putting references and saying this is in the Quran, which is absolutely do not exist in the Quran, then you are misinforming, misrepresenting, misrepresentation, misinformation creates hate. 6 people in Quebec mosque were slaughtered. But they were Russian. Because the person who killed him was misinformed about Islam. That misinformation, that's I call Islamophobia. Criticism of Islam from non-Muslim is not Islamophobia. Absolutely not. I disagree openly with Christian faith and I said, we don't believe Jesus is the Son of God. And one friend of mine, Christian friend of mine, he said, you are blasphemous. I said, yes. And this is true, and I believe that it is blasphemy that we do not believe Jesus is the Son of God from Christian faith. But it is also blasphemy that I believe Jesus as the Son of God from Muslim perspective. So when this is blasphemy, then what should you do? Go and kill each other? No. That is not blasphemy anymore. We should respect each other's belief and we go on. And we work on the common things rather than differences. We have more in common than differences. As I said, the love of Jesus Christ is very common. Let's focus on love rather than hate or differences. So did I answer your question?
I will try to speak loudly. My name is Nadir. I come from Lebanon. I'm from a Christian background. Everybody hears me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try because this one may be the... Alright. I want to ask you, what do you want to achieve today from this meeting? First, thank you so much for inviting us. I really appreciate it. It's one step. And we really appreciate to see the positive points in it. I would like to share with you also that in Lebanon, I agree with you that the political issues and struggle for everybody wants to have this power creates all the conflicts. And in Lebanon, we always have conflict, but when the political issues are resolved, there will be no, if you want, friction between religious groups. What I want to ask you today is what you want to achieve from inviting us today. And I would like also to give you feedback. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. It's not just what I want to achieve. I think what we all want to achieve. While we are here, you are spending 2 hours here, you value your time on the weekend. You should spend this time with your family. And family time is the most important thing. So what we all want to achieve, I think we all want to achieve a better understanding of Islam and better understanding of as a Canadian, as a human, as a people living in our neighborhoods with each other. That's what better understanding. And if we have a question or a misunderstanding, then we should be asked and try to remove those misunderstandings. I think if we go today with the better understanding, not confused, then we achieve. I think let me stop. I need one more question or then let's stop. Because Irfan Sahib was our MC, he told me that there is our pastors from 2 churches here. And if they speak for a few minutes, because the food is ready also, but I want that our representative from churches, they should speak, and if they have any question, they can ask me, or we can chat during when we are eating also. Right? I don't want to delay much. Any question? Thank you very much. Yes. Go ahead.
So there is a huge misconception even among Muslims. What is the Sharia law?
Okay. I was expecting this question from our
People will get confused, they get scared that Sharia law is coming.
Yeah.
But I think Sharia law is already here. We practice it every day. Yeah. Right, what you said.
Yeah. No, okay, now that's very good. I was hoping this question, so Sharia, what is Sharia? I mean, if you look at the word Sharia from Arabic to English, Sharia means path, Sharia means way, Sharia also means Islamic laws, Islamic way. It's also Islamic jurisprudence, we call it. What Sharia means in Canada, that we have the freedom to practice our faith the way we want to practice. We do have that freedom. And that is why this is the best country on the planet. So Sharia law means how we worship, how we get married, how we bury our dead, how we distribute our inheritance, how we live as a Muslim. Sharia law does not mean what happens in some of the Muslim countries in the name of Islam. For example, it is not Sharia in overwhelming majority of scholars of Islam that a woman was raped and the judge says that women should be sentenced to death by stone. She was raped and you are sentenced to death, the victim. That is not Sharia. That is not Sharia. I have written an article a few years ago in Capital Herald, by the way, and I have discussed this issue. And I have said Sharia is a universal law for all time and all people. What does that mean? That how we pray, how we eat, how we talk, how we behave, how we live with our neighbor. It is our Sharia law that you respect your neighbors. It is our Sharia law that you take care of your neighbors in need. You share your food with your neighbor. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, he said, I was afraid that Allah, God, will make mandatory upon you to share your inheritance with your neighbor. And he did not define the neighbor has to be a Muslim. So, Sharia law is when you live in a country, wherever you live, Muslim country or non-Muslim, abide by the laws of that country, faithful to that country, respect that country, don't live as a hypocrite. We do not believe in Taqiyya, by the way. People say, oh, you believe in Taqiyya, you're just making it. Taqiyya means deception. Why? Deception is wrong. Deception is criminal sometimes. Police officers are saying it. Right? So, Sharia law is follow the laws of the country you live in. If you cannot follow, get out. Live wherever you want to. But I tell you, this country is the best country on the planet. We have more freedom in Canada to practice Islam than even Saudi Arabia or Iran. These are two Muslim countries, big Muslim countries, from Shia perspective or Sunni perspective. I cannot practice the way I want to practice Islam in Saudi Arabia. I will be in jail. For example, I celebrate Prophet's birthday. I celebrate Prophet's birthday. And we are very proud of it. But if I celebrate Prophet's birthday in Saudi Arabia, I will put in jail. Because in their opinion, this is wrong. This is distortion. Similarly, I celebrate the caliphs, the four caliphs of Islam, Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, these are the caliphs of Islam. Their days, I cannot do this thing openly in Iran because it's a Shia state. So we have more freedom. We can practice the way we want to practice. That's the beauty of it. Okay. I think
thank you very much for the invitation. My apologies if I made any mistakes, and thank you for your patience with me. I don't know how my family got the invitation, and we would all be here if we could, but my family is conducting their own ceremonies today. So I just wanted to make sure that one of us came to say welcome to everyone to Treaty 6 territory. And earlier, when welcoming newcomers to Canada. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about the history of Muslims in Canada. Just a little bit. I know it's a big subject.
All right, thank you. If you look at the history of Muslims in North America, Canada, especially Canada, the first formal mosque in Canada was built in 1936. Actually, its foundation stone was laid down in 1932, and it became a formal opening mosque in 1936. But Muslims were there before that. In Wikipedia, I read that there were 6 Muslims in late 1600 in Nova Scotia. There were 6 families in Nova Scotia in late 1600, and all 6 families was from Bosnia. And you look at the history of Alberta, I'm sure northern Saskatchewan and northern Alberta. More than 150 years ago, people from Lebanon, especially from Lebanon, they came to this part of the world and they settled down in northern Alberta. They are now 6th or 7th generation Canadians in this country. They came in mid-1800s, and they are still their families, their children. They are completely assimilated. You cannot even separate these are Muslims because they are all Caucasian now. So, and they came 150 years ago. So there has been a history of Muslims almost 3-4 centuries old in North America. So that's why more Muslims coming now. I think let us stop, and if you have more questions, I will be more than happy to answer your question. Food is ready, but if hands up, I think he's going to invite our Christian pastors, and they will make some speeches, and then we'll go. Thank you very much.
I request Imam to come and please express the thoughts to us. She's a special guest for me. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Imam, and I'm a United Church minister here in Saskatoon, along with my friend and colleague Nibuka, who is back there in Soleil. I met Irfan a few months ago, and at a similar event that the Roman Catholic Church was organizing, and it's just been an honor and a delight to get to know him. We've had many conversations about our shared experiences and how, as people of faith, we seek peace and we are called to share God's love in the world. And it is just so, I'm so very grateful to live here in Canada, where we have this opportunity to gather together as people of various faiths and figure out how we can do this seeking peace, sharing love thing together in the world. So thank you so very much for the opportunity to come here today. Thank you, Irfan, for the invitation and for the hospitality here.
Thank you. I will request Pastor Patrick to come and just express his words, please. Thank you very much for coming.
My name is Patrick Friedheim. I am pastor at Lieutenant Park Mennonite Church, and I bring greetings on behalf of the Mennonite denomination, Mennonite Church of Saskatchewan, to you. Thank you so much for your words this day. Mennonites are big believers in food, so I will not speak long. The food is ready, I heard. I do want to say, though, your remarks about the challenges of scriptural interpretation ring very true to experiences that we have had within the Christian denominations. This is a central issue and a central concern of how it is that we transmit, the training that we give, as well as the forums to help bring to the surface these significant questions of scriptural interpretation. What makes one understanding of Christianity more appropriate or better is something with which we struggle, and I hear the same is true within Islam.
I think the more we are able to gather and draw strength from each other, the better our communities will be, and the more civil a society will become as we work together as people of good faith. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor. I would request Inspector Patrick to come on this message. Please, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the City Police, and more specifically Chief Clyde Whitehall, I want to appreciate some appreciation for inviting us out today. I've been here before and talked before, and I've always wanted to say something in particular what we're experiencing here in Saskatoon. We have a city with bridges, and to use a metaphor, we have to make that connection. And whether it's a geographical connection we're trying to make or a connection between two different types of religions, your bridge is only as good as the foundation that you have. And working at that foundation is the most important aspect of having a community that can thrive. For the police and for law enforcement in Saskatoon, our Quran is a criminal code. And I would be very interested to know whether or not there's any correspondence or any teachings with respect to conflicts that might become between the Quran and the criminal code. But that's part of getting that foundation, getting that understanding. So what we're working towards with the City Police here in town is making sure that our law enforcement men and women have a firm understanding of different traditions and different cultures and different religions, so that when there is an application of the law, they do so with that understanding. The challenge is not having a room like this. People that are here are because they want to be here, because they want to learn. The challenge is for all of us to go back to our communities and spread that message so that we have a better understanding in creating that foundation. So, on behalf of the police service, thank you for inviting us. We will take the message and we'll spread it back to the men and women of the Saskatoon City Police to ensure that we have a better understanding.
Thank you very much. And I would like to recognize our Imam from the East Side Masjid, East Side Masjid, Imam mashallah, he's here. So food is ready and we will just take a short break and then we will have the food. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. All praises to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, the owner of the judgment day. Oh Allah, we worship you and we seek your help. Show us the path, the straight path to you, the path of those who are blessed by you, not the path of those who are very astray and withdrawn from you. Amen. My brothers and sisters, once again, on behalf of Jamia Jannah, Muslim Muslim Saskatoon, I'm very thankful to all of you for coming. And we will have more and more dialogues, and we will have more and more these sessions. Thank you very much. And the food is